Pepper says, are you ready to get back into this basement and declutter another section? I know I am.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. Back by popular demand, we are back in the basement. I am feeling a whole lot better. I feel like I have my strength. I'm going to be decluttering right in here, and I will be taking breaks in between just to be mindful of my recovery. Now, I know that this has been such a huge request and that I am committed to finally getting this basement cleaned out. I've been saying that for years, but I noticed that I had to overcome a lot of hurdles to even kind of get to this space, because as much as I'm gung-ho about cleaning it out, there's still a fear that has lived within myself, and that is, it almost feels like the basement is the last of the hoard. It's like the last of my protection, even though we still have the garage, the attic, and the shed, which we will be getting in that shed this spring. That's something that I really have a big goal of cleaning that out. To go back to the basement, it's almost like there's a lot of fears that kind of run through my mind, and that is, am I able to do this? Can I do this? Do I want to do this? Yeah, I want to do this, but the feelings that I'm feeling at my core is that the best way I can explain it is that I feel like once I've cleaned out the complete basement, it's almost like feeling like naked in public, right? I'm exposed to the world. All my bits and pieces are out and exposed. And it's kind of the same feeling if I empty out everything and it's opened. It's almost like I'm being exposed to the world. There's nothing protecting me. There's nothing protecting my emotions. And because that's how I was wired, my entire life, this stuff is what kept me safe. And though we've made amazing progress, that's still a core childhood thing that we're chopping away at. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to finish the basement in 2024. I had a lot of really big aha moments during my surgery. It was a blessing in disguise, and I am ready to finally get it completed. But I just wanted to share the reasons why it has taken me so long, because there's been a lot of internal battles that I had to overcome.
Now, a majority of the stuff that you have seen, I am definitely letting go of. But I really want to have this discussion of the fear of decluttering. That was how my house became a level 4 hoarding situations. Now, a lot of you already know why I struggled with the fear of decluttering, because it was a coping mechanism for my anxiety and my PTSD. And if I had to let the item go, then I would have to process those emotions alone, and I wouldn't be safe if I did that. I also felt like that I would lose my identity if I let the item go, because I put so much of my self-worth into the items. But I found that once I started talking to all of you about it and started facing my fears, it started to become less scary. And looking back, that was the number one reason why I recovered so far in my hoarding disorder, because all of you created a safe space for me to be vulnerable and open with my emotions. And I want to return that favor to all of you. This channel is a safe space for you to be open with your emotions too. So please, if you feel comfortable, let me know in the comments below. What are your fears of decluttering? And a lot of people have a fear of decluttering, not just people with hoarding disorder. Many people across the board get very overwhelmed of decluttering. And here are some of the very common reasons. Number one is, I'm afraid I'll need it later. I have held on to receipts, invoices, restaurant menus, instruction manuals, old tech cords, you name it, I've held on to it. But I can confidently say that out of 100 of those things I hoarded away, I probably only needed 2 of them. And if I didn't have it, it was actually very easy to replace. Number 2 is making the decision to let it go or keep it. This was another huge hurdle for me. With my anxiety, ADHD, mental tag team, I really had a hard time with making a decision with any object. And this is the perfect segue for this subject because what I'm showing you here are 2 bags from my mom's house. Yes, she had dropped off 2 bags for me to either keep what I wanted or to put the stuff on my Facebook Towns giving page. Now, keep in mind, my mom has recognized how much I've recovered in my hoarding disorder, and that's why she dropped it off. What I didn't realize that, well, it definitely brought up new emotions to deal with, and that is I'm so incredibly blessed to have my parents with me that I don't know what to do with myself when they're gone. So this is actually a good thing because these are new lessons for me to learn. Because one day I will have to make decisions on all of their stuff. And I hope that that is in the very far future. But circling back to making decisions, my ADHD, anxiety definitely kept me trapped in what I call decision-making paralysis and fear of making the wrong choice. And of course, that fear just increased my anxiety more. So to regulate my nervous system so I could calm myself down again, I didn't make any decision at all. I just left it for another day. Now, the way I overcame this was to pick the easiest thing I could declutter first, and what I still recognized as trash. I started with that and let it go. I told myself I made the right decision, and I was proud of myself for following through. Then I would look for the next easiest thing that I could let go of confidently. I never forced a decision. So if I was indecisive on an object, I would allow myself to keep it for a little longer. And over time, as my decision-making skills developed into a positive behavior, those things that I was very indecisive of keeping or letting go, I was able to declutter and let it go later on. Even with an ADHD anxious brain, you can develop decision-making skills, and that it's actually a positive experience where your brain is giving you that dopamine that you need to keep focusing. Number 3 on that list is not knowing where to start. I know this kept me in the frozen zone of fear as I felt so overwhelmed by the amount of stuff I had. Because back then, I had thousands upon thousands of items hoarded away. So I just avoided decluttering altogether, and I had developed this avoidance behavior of never decluttering. But once I allowed myself some grace that I didn't have to clean the entire house in one day, that I could declutter a small space like a drawer. That was enough. My nervous system could handle that. I could process those emotions. And that's when I started to do baby step decluttering. Everyone is different in their decluttering patterns and behaviors. So it's okay if you have to ease into it and build up your decluttering muscles and your decluttering confidence. What's most important is that you started. And as I went through that drawer, I told myself that I could do it. I can handle this. It's just a small space. And when I was done, I celebrated. I did it. I did great. And the next day, I did another small space and celebrated that victory too. And over time, the spaces became bigger. The Tossy Piles became a lot more. And I got a lot more confident in decluttering. And the last thing is the fear of losing the memory if I let the object go. And you definitely see that with my kids' baby stuff, toddler stuff, and their drawings. I am very forgetful, another little ADHD perk. So that's why the objects were the only thing that triggered my memory, because when I saw it, the memory came back. If I didn't have it, it was erased in the abyss of multiple millions of thoughts. And the most common practice to overcome this is taking a picture of it. And I did that. But I literally have 50,000 photos on my phone. And trust me, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that. And as I go through to delete those photos, there is one bonus, is that I have a YouTube channel. And when I've seen older videos, that was the memory for me. I didn't have to save it on my phone. YouTube has it. That actually helped me, because when I was looking at old videos, I actually forgot about it, remembered the memory, loved it and appreciated, and was able to move on. So that actually really did help me to remember the memory. Now that right there is a water spot from when the basement flooded around, I think it was October or November of last year. So that's why it is so important for us to just keep on decluttering in this section and just hold our focus here. And as I look through these boxes of clothes, I can tell that the boys outgrew this. And I really want to put this in a yard sale. I am determined for this year. And now I get to show you the Tossy Pile. We did excellent. We let go of so much stuff. It was just too much work for me and my back to try and take everything out of the box to show you the grand finale of it all. But what I'm proud of is that I let some of my mom's things go. That is showing huge progress, because it's the same emotional, sentimental value as my boys' items. You saw that I couldn't even get rid of any baby hangers. And it's almost the same process as my parents' things. So it's a good thing I had to make decisions on my mom's things now and not later on. And now me and Miss Pepper are so happy to show you the newly opened up space in the basement. We opened up this section right here. We really kind of worked up because a lot of this stuff was piled up. But this is opened up. And we made amazing progress. And you can make amazing progress as well. And I'll be cheering you on every step of the way. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let go of something in your home today too.